That's right, guys. I got over 13,500 miles in this e-bike. I saved almost 300 trees. Whatever that means, but the last trip was 41 miles. Yeah, it's roughly 1,800 miles across the United States, or 26,000 miles across around the Earth. Puts it in perspective how much I rode this bike. Bought this in September 2021 with my COVID check. Had no idea how much I'd ride it. I'd load up on my car and take it to the bike trail, trying to find how much the range would be on it. I realized I could ride it to work, 6 miles wide open, and take my charger. Got to work and it's still 90%. So I quit taking my charger and just riding it to work. Rode it every day I could. Then I realized I could just ride it to the bike trail from my house. And then I got an extra battery. Bear with me, guys. Let's start here at the tires. To get the maximum range, of course, you have to have maximum pressure. I got 3,800 miles out of the first set of tires. So I bumped them up to 20 pounds for the second set. And get about 4,000 miles out of these tires here now at 20 pounds. Sure, you can bump them up to 30 and get longer life, but it's a little harsher ride. I buy the kind of 1188s. These are the factory tires. I bought a set of sport tires one time. They was half the tread, and they must be for racing or something, but they only last about 1,000 miles. So I learned that lesson. This is my 4th set of tires so far. The first thing that's going to leave you stranded out on the trail or out from away from your house is a flat tire. And the number one culprit is sticks. You should get comfortable taking the rear wheel off and at least have the tools to do it, because you're going to need something to cut these wire ties. And get familiar with taking that connector apart there at the wheel. And if you take the wheels off to change the inner tube, make sure you leave the axle nuts on, because if you take them off and lose all your spacers and which direction they go and everything, just leave the axle nuts on there. Yeah, the biggest problem is sticks. They'll poke 2 holes in your inner tube. They'll go through the outside and they'll poke a hole in the inside. And I carry slime with me, but if that doesn't work, you're going to have a mess on your hands. The slime's going to be everywhere. So it's a good thing to bring a couple rags, some paper towels, and some patience. And the only way to take these wheels off is to turn the bike upside down. So you're going to have to take all your stuff off your handlebars, take your time, and it's going to have to be upside down to work on these wheels. But they're not that bad to take off. Hopefully you got the right size tools. Just a good idea to get familiar with it. And if you carry an electric tire pump, make sure you carry a manual tire pump too. Chances are when you're going to need that electric pump, it's going to be half flat and it might leave you stranded. Definitely recommend carrying a manual tire pump. And you won't be able to push these bikes with a flat tire. The tire's all wad up and it makes it tough to push. And if you can't get it fixed, hopefully you got a buddy on speed dial to come with a truck to pick you up. You know, on these Kenda tires, there's actually 20 notches around this tire. So if you want to put reflectors on, it's real easy to figure out where to put them at. And it's a good idea to carry a metal Schrader valve stem tool. If not, you could be stranded trying to get them off with the plastic cap off of the slime bottle. I was watching the tires, thinking that's going to be the first thing I wore out. No, it's the brake pads. First set of brake pads went at 1,800 miles. I maintain my own bike. I had mineral oil first time the handle grips go down, you can add, I use mineral oil with a dropper. And yes, we're talking drops. Right here in the reservoir. And fill it up. I would do that once. The next time you have to do it, you're going to have to check your brake pads. It's like I say, about 1,800 miles they're due. They're really not that hard to change. If you can change the brake pads on your car, I'm pretty sure you can change the ones on this one here too. There's all kinds of YouTube videos how to do it. And if you don't maintain your own bike, you will be spending a lot of time at the bike shop. Chain. I learned lessons on chains here. I don't know everything about chains, but what I've learned is it's probably the most neglected part of the bike. Runs in the worst environment. I use chain wax in the summer. I switch to oil base in the winter with assault on the roads. My chain broke twice. Once on an asphalt parking lot. I went off the edge of it and it was real steep and it pushed the links apart. And second time I was going up a hill. Downshifting going up a hill. Pushed the chain apart. And the one thing about these rear hub bikes, as long as you satisfy the crank sensor or use a throttle, you don't really need a chain to get home. That's one advantage over a mid-drive bike. So then when you put your chain back on after it comes off, hopefully you got some links to fix it with. And you run it backwards and the chain's real bad, more likely your chain's running backwards. You put the chain on backwards, come to find out. And when you order a chain, make sure you order enough links. This chain's 120 links. Most links are 114. So count your links and make sure you order it by the speed. So if it's a 5-speed, get a 5-speed chain with however many links you need. Like I said, this one here is 120 links. Most chains are 114 links. And I don't use the master link, I just use the pins. The master link takes a special tool to take them apart. They're a one-time use only anyway. I don't plan on taking the chain off, so I just use the pins that comes with the chain. And another tip is, don't downshift into the lower gears until you're slowed down to get ready to stop. Because if you try to at higher speeds, and there's a little stone or a stick in this index, that chain will fit between that index and that hub, and it's going to be locked up right now. Just a word of caution there. Seat. I like the seat with the opening in it. That way I can put my sunglasses, my visor, and my gloves go there too. It makes it harder for me to ride off without them. I went through a couple seats before I settled on this one here. And during the process, this was weird. I was having a hard time peeing. Stung real bad when I was peeing. I thought I had to pee all the time. Wondered what is going on. Come down and look at my seat. And my seat was tipped up. I had that for like 2 days wondering what in the world is going on. And yeah, so if you're having symptoms like that, check your seat. Unbelievable. I did put this seat post on, like a $20-something seat post. The main thing about these things is you need to adjust them. There's a spring in there. I had to cut out actually a rubber section out of the lower piece of it to make it sit in the spring instead of just sitting on top of the spring. So when you're sitting on it, make sure that's compressed. And a drop or two of oil on that seat post lever makes life a little easier. And on the kickstand. And make sure you put Loctite on those bolts for the kickstand. They will come loose. Alrighty then. With this. But still original battery. 13,500 miles. Originally got 30 miles out of the original battery the way I ride it. It did drop down to 25 at 10,000 miles. I found the best thing to do for these batteries is to run them completely dead. The only way you're going to do that is with an extra battery. So, but it definitely seems like it rejuvenates it when you do that. I always start out with the original battery, and before I come into town, I always switch to my newer, fresh battery, so it runs at top speed and no hesitation. And let's go to the handlebars here. Show you how to get this rigged up. Original hand grips. I wear fingerless gloves in the summertime. Electric horn. A little bell. I got this cup holder from Dick's. I got a Garmin GPS. That's the control panel. Here's my cell phone holder. Here's a BX1200. Here's another place for a light if I want to mount one there. So I got this wire running down from here. Down my power bank. I got two wires coming out of there. One goes up here to my GPS. Other one runs over here to my light. Or I can plug it into my phone. Sewed that out of some marine grade vinyl. Mount it right there. Right here, I got to carry out this rag right here. Is handy for. You might be surprised what it's handy for. Carry an extra Warrior 3 right there in case I need it. Got some 3M reflector tape around the outside. Here's my electric horn, how I got that mounted. Drill a hole in that bracket. It's out of the way. Doesn't touch anything. Still get the charging port. What's nice about this horn, it's got a key fob. So you can set the key fob. If anybody touches it, alarm goes off. Pretty easy peace of mind for what the price of that horn was. I got a Javelin Pro 2 that's mounted here with a remote switch. I used to use bungee cords to hold my bag on, and riding at night like I do, it never fails to forget one of those bungee cords and it gets caught in your spokes. So I decided to go to this webbing, 1-inch webbing with a male and female buckle kit. As I sewed all this together with a Speedy Stitcher, you're going to have to get one of these and figure out how to use it. It's real simple. That's what I sewed this pouch on with. Sewed this together with and sewed it up on there. This light mounts here. And if you need to adjust that mount, you can adjust the basket. And being this thing shoots a spotlight down the trail, it's real easy to get it to where you need it. Here's some of the stuff I recommend I carry with me. Rechargeable hand warmers. You kidding me? How convenient is that right there? Carry the slime. I used to take all the accessories off my bike and take them upstairs and charge them. I can't remember how many times I ran back upstairs and forget something I had. So I put a little tower charger. Just put it on the bike and charge everything you need right there. Part tool cleaner, brake chain cleaner, Speedy Stitcher. Here's the brake pads. They look kind of silly, but it's amazing how good they work. Here's my chain wax I use in the summertime, and some oil base for the winter time to keep my chain from rusting. There's the key fob for that horn. Mineral oil, just a small bottle of mineral oil is all you need. There's my visor. There's some brake pads. Like I bought, they come in a pack of 4 for like 15, 16 bucks or some helmet I wear. But yeah, I wear a helmet, fingerless gloves in the summertime. The warmest gloves I can in the wintertime. But here's my man purse I carry with me. Got all my personal stuff in there. Get this light flashing light on the front here. It's perfect. It's not bright, intrusive, or nothing. It's perfect. So that back right's there. I got this little light here in case I pull over on the trail at night. Turn it on. That's all the light I need. It's pretty handy right there. Look in the bag. Whatever. It's right there. Yeah, I found out these are about the perfect bag. Perfect size. Everything I need fits in there. Keys, wallet, I could probably take it everywhere with me, but I probably wouldn't carry it to the store, you know. But, guys, that's wrapping it up. I can tell you some tips about riding on the trail. If you go off the trail, stop right now and get your bike back on the trail before you go any further, because the trail I ride on is elevated. It's higher than the ground around it. So if you get off the trail and try to get back up on the trail, there's moss right there. And guess what? You might be going down. I hope you got your helmet on, because you could have catastrophic failure right now. Yeah, the only bad thing about this bike is I can't get nothing done around the house anymore. I always find time to ride this bike somehow. And I ride residential streets, 25 mile an hour. I don't feel comfortable riding on the highways. Anything with over a 35 mile an hour speed limit. And drivers don't realize how fast you're going when they try to pass you. Here comes another car the other way, and it might not be good. I've seen it twice now. And that's about it for now, guys. Thanks for sticking around and seeing some of my experience I've had with this bike. I'll give you some good ideas. Like I said, I had no idea how much I'd ride this bike. But I recommend, if you got a bike trail where you can ride, it's the most enjoyable thing you'll ever find. It's more relaxing, more comfortable, more safety. My motorcycle sits in the garage, I hate to say it. But it's all I like to say, guys. Get out there and hit that trail. See you guys. Thanks.